I'm Nikki, and I want to talk about integrity. I think if I were to dumb down integrity for myself, it would just be like, do what you say you're gonna do, but to have like a deeper meaning to integrity, I actually think it's just staying aligned with your values. And I think that when you're not aligned with your values, like your body or your mind, it'll give you some sort of signal that you're not aligned with your values. I think this could be like burning out or losing motivation or questioning like things that are happening, questioning like your purpose, questioning like life. And I think that happens when you're not aligned with your values. And so, yeah, I really think that integrity is just being aligned with your values. But especially what's so significant about that is figuring out what your values are and exactly what you want. And I think this also comes with like, to figure out what you want, you have to kind of know like who you are, because your values are kind of like representations of who you are. And when you're not aligned with those values, or if you're not aligned with who you are, then yeah, I think your body gives like some signals. It could be stress, it could be anxiety, it could be depression. And I think there's signs that, yeah, these signs are like God-given, just to let you know that like things are not going well, and something's not going right. And then you can doubt, you can question, you can get stressed out. And yeah, I mean, I've experienced all that. And I guess recently I've delved into just learning more about my identity, learning more about who I am. And once you learn more about who you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, then you can find out what your values are. And I do think that when you try to act within your values, this is when you feel like you're truly yourself. But the thing is, yeah, I think what's also hard is when setting values or setting like ideals for yourself. I guess this is like the challenge is you have to figure out like what you really want, what you're shooting for, and I guess knowing yourself as well. Like knowing who you really are, not just like who you want to be, but like knowing who you are right now. And I think that's extremely important, to set also like values or ideals for yourself that are realistic, that aren't like too high or too much like to expect from yourself. But when you set these values and when you live them, like that's integrity. And I think the more you do that, the more you'll feel aligned with yourself, the more confident you'll be, and the better life you'll live. And yeah, there's many values and virtues like courage, honesty, accountability, grace. But yeah, I mean, these are also values and virtues. And it's like, if you set these as your values and your virtues, if you're not living them, like you know, like kind of like what's the point in a way? But if you're not living them, I think you'll feel that, you'll be aware of that. But I think that's also a skill in itself. It's like learning about your values, learning to be like self-aware about your values, and learning when you are acting inside of your values or when you're not. But this is a skill. I think integrity is something that is built up. But I think it starts with trying to know yourself, to learn more about your identity, learn more about your strengths, your weaknesses, setting values and ideals for yourself. And then, I do feel like if you really find out what you want, if you set your values to what really feels true to you, then it won't be so hard to actually live them if they're really true to you. But I think it can be hard to live ideals or values if they're too high, or if there's something, or like if there are really some things that aren't you, or especially if they're not like where you're at right now. Because I think it's easy to want like the highest of the high, which is good. It's great to shoot for those things, but it's also incredibly important to know where you're at as well, to gauge like what you can actually shoot for. So I hope this helps. Yeah, do what you say is integrity, but there's a lot of other things that come with it. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Bye.